The greed of 2K Games really does know no bounds. We've talked about that particular publisher's desire for money a couple of times in the past, but with its latest game, NBA 2K18, it appears that a lot more than money is being taken. I am, of course, talking about piss. Lots and lots of piss that 2K has been taking. Naturally, this involves microtransactions. I know some of you are tired of that. You can go roll your eyes and watch something else. The rest of you, thank you for joining me. We're going to be talking about microtransactions again. They're not exactly new to the NBA series. They're not new to 2K Games as a whole, but as we've learned in the game industry over the years, you give an inch and they take fucking everything. In the realm of additional monetization, publishers are seeing just how much they can get away with. This past year in particular seems to be a watershed moment for pushing the envelope and seeing exactly how much of your audience's patience you can wear thin in the name of a couple of extra bucks. In the year of the loot box, in the year of content being held to ransom, in the year that fee to pay, the thing I was warning about for years, has finally become fucking bog standard. 2K Games has proven that there is really no upper limit, that truly, there is no such thing as enough money for these people. As the industry continues to rake it in, hand over fist with these fucking microtransactions in games that they're still charging $60 for, you'll notice how companies are pushing it just a little bit more each and every time. How much more can we charge for? How much more time of the player can we waste to try and make them impatient enough to reach into their wallet and speed things up? How many things can we put inside glass cages for them? How many things can we dangle in front of their noses? NBA 2K18 is the latest and greatest experiment in fucking with your customers' minds to get them to pay more than twice for something they just bought from you. In 2K18, everything is governed by virtual currency. Wait, virtual? They couldn't even come up with a fucking name. They couldn't even come up with a fucking name for it. That's how lazy they've gotten. Virtual VC. They couldn't even call it like basket bucks or something. Previous entries in the series have had this VC, and 2K18 is generous enough to start you off with 6,000 of the little bastards. Unfortunately, everything costs a fucking lot of VC, so it's one of those cases where the free currency they give you to start with is an even worse offer than drug dealers in 80s cartoons used to give you. You know, the whole first hit's free, then we're gonna come back to you and demand more money? We really are at the point where video game companies are less generous than 80s cartoon drug dealers. According to Kotaku, spending the entire 6,000 VC on your character will get them from a rating of 60 to 62. 6,000 virtual currencies get you up 2 ranks. So upgrading your character costs VC, customizing your character also costs VC. And given how pricey it is to upgrade a character, it becomes very fucking difficult to customize the poor wanker unless you play for hours to get haircuts, or do what 2K really wants you to do, prise open your wallet and pay them for the privilege of speeding up the process, of avoiding the game. We talked about this when Shadow of War tried to justify its microtransactions by saying, oh, it just speeds things up. Basically what you're saying is, your game isn't worth playing, much less paying $60 for. If you have to pay more to then not play the game you just bought, what kind of value are you saying your game fucking has? You can't even preview the customization options before you buy them. That's how utterly dickish this situation is. Be it clothes, be it animations, you know, if you want to do a special dunk, you're going to have to buy that. You'll have to unlock it first and then you buy it. Apparently their most popular VC pack is the 75,000 pack for $19.99. Although of course their best value offer is 450,000 VC for $99.99. Mobile games do that. Really cynical, shitty mobile games have those $99.99 virtual currency packs. I mean, looking at this screen right now, looking at this image of the microtransactions, it looks exactly like the purchase menus I've seen in dozens of free-to-play mobile games. That is fucking shameful. I mean, yeah, our game costs $60, but to get the best value out of it, Give us another 100. The insidiously predatory nature of NBA 2K18 has not been lost on the fans, thank fuck. Right now on Steam it's sitting at mostly negative reviews because people aren't standing for it. Oh, by the way, if you go on that page as well, you'll also find that you can buy NBA 2K18 for $60, or the Legend Edition for $99.99, or the Legend Edition Gold for $149.99. Oh yeah, of course they're selling a $150 version of this game, and still claim that they need microtransactions because games are so expensive. It's always the richest, most powerful companies with the biggest, most popular games that claim they have no money and need to do this shit. Pull the fucking other one. Back to user reviews, of course a lot of them are talking about this whole VC mess. There's one here, review from Andrew, start at 60 overall, cannot run, shoot, pass, dribble, make open layups, rebound or get open, need a lot of VC to upgrade your attributes, can't earn VC because you can't play well without decent attributes. They cite a long depressing grind to get to 70, and even then you're still rated the same as players who don't get a minute in a whole season. That review is particularly telling because it really does describe a typical freemium experience. You need to play to upgrade, but you need to upgrade to play. How'd you break that cycle? Real life cash. This, by the way, is why I treat all microtransactions as equal. That's why they're all equally shit in my eyes. Because people let them slide. Because people accepted them, because people were all, oh, they're just cosmetic, or, oh, you can unlock everything in the game. This just offers players choices. This is all about choosing how to play the game. Well, we can't choose to ignore this, can we? Eventually, microtransactions become so deeply embedded in the game experience, start dictating how games are even designed, look at Dead Space 3, because again, for the record, you give them an inch, they take everything. Games publishers are vampires, and the moment you invite them into your house, they bite your mum's neck. The slippery slope argument is often fallacious, it's not one that should be used lightly or often, but in the case of games publishers, where history has demonstrated what they're fucking like, I dare say slippery slope arguments are perfectly justified. I've been talking about this slope for years, and now the likes of Strauss Zelnick and Yves Guillemot are pouring liquid soap down that slope and also spunking on it for good measure, just to make it extra nice and slidey. Also, I'm not an idiot, like, not in general. I mean, I am for the most part, but in certain regards, I'm not an idiot. I know how it looks that I keep banging on about microtransactions. Some people paint me as some weird zealot. Some people think that I have no other content. Like this week when I talked about how to do a free-to-play game good, I saw some comments that were like, oh well, he's obviously doing this because it's a slow news week. He hasn't got anything else to talk about. I've got buckets of shit to talk about, mate. I've got a whole document of ideas, lists of things to talk about. I'm sorry, I just give a shit about this. I've got a lot to say about this, and as I've said before, and yes, sometimes some of the stuff I said is repeated, that's because it bears repeating. If you're sick of me talking about them, I will stop. I will 100% stop doing it as soon as the game industry stops taking the fucking piss with them. And well, I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So I have to like wait for a slow week. That's when the good stuff happens, is when there's a slow week. Because when the game industry, for a moment, keeps its dick in its pants and stops trying to shove it into our wallets, that's when I can finally get around to doing my episode about level design in the Yakuza series. Until then, fuck 2K, fuck 2K, fuck 2K, fuck 2K, you greedy, blood-sucking, parasitic bastards.